Now, I'm going to tell you a dirty little secret in economics that's just going to change the ballgame for the way we think. What causes productivity? When Robert Solow won the Nobel Prize on economic growth theory, he let the cat out of the bag. He said, we used to believe that productivity, which is the whole key to economic success, is based on putting capital to labor. You put a lot of capital per worker, you increase productivity. But he says the problem is, when we study this, that only accounts for 14% of all the productivity of the Industrial Revolution. Where did the other 86% of the productivity come from? He said, we don't know. Can you imagine the economists don't know? The reason is they haven't studied the laws of thermodynamics. Because when economists penned classical and neoclassical economic theory, Adam Smith, Baptiste say, the rage at that point was Newtonian physics. So they use all the metaphors. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So we have the invisible hand and the pendulum of supply and demand. The laws of thermodynamics weren't discovered until the late 19th century by engineers and chemists, and by that time, economics already was settled. But as you know, it's the laws of thermodynamics that actually govern economic activity. We have low entropy inputs in nature, both embedded energy in material form, loose energy. We transform it. Every time there's a transformation, we lose energy in the transformation. We have temporary utilities, and then eventually they go back to nature. Some of it is entropic loss, recyclable with a bill, and that's really what economics is about. So we now know, in the last few years, Robert Ayers over at INSEAD, Skip Leitner on my team and others have been doing the studies. We now know where the 84% of the productivity comes from. Thermodynamic efficiencies. But every engineer could have told us that in this room, correct? So, to the extent a power and utility company can help all their companies, small, medium, large, manage their energy flows embedded in their products, supply chains, logistics, keep their energy margins up by reducing their energy costs, and to the extent, though, the companies increase their productivity by the thermodynamic efficiencies, the companies will share their savings and productivity back with the utility companies. Shared savings agreements. Far more money to be made in shared savings agreements and sharing productivity gains than selling electrons. Many power and utility companies are now starting to move toward this. I've been meeting with the energy companies and utility companies. Some are worried they want to stay in the old portfolio. I say you need to be in both. You're going to be in the centralized fossil fuel and nuclear portfolio for a while, but you've got to wean into the new business model. Many of the utility companies will fail. They will go out. Already ESCOs, Schneider's and ESCOs and others, ESCOs, energy savings companies, are moving into the new model. They can aggregate the companies and the users and bring together engineers, people that are well-versed in hydrogen storage, in IT technology, in electronics, in logistics, in construction, and aggregate companies, ESCOs, that can manage energy flows for whole clusters of industries, producer co-ops, big industries, and then share the productivity gains and just send it back to the grid, in which case the utility companies are going to be more and more irrelevant except for the wire.